Imagine everyone gets scared of you just by looking at your scary face, but somehow a cute rich girl from a prestigious school ends up falling in love with you. That's the story of our main character of this anime, Rintaro, who is so ugly that everyone is just scared of his face. He was just walking to his school, minding his own business, but everyone around him looks like they just saw the final boss of a horror game. His face was a straight-up nightmare for other students. People legit thought that he's scarier than exams on Monday morning. Anyway, he spots his squad having a fight with some street thugs. And these thugs are just classic NPCs who just start fighting for fun, because apparently bullying is their favorite hobby. They start asking Rintaro's friends like, "Yo, where's that terrifying guy? The scary-looking dude? Where is he?" And his friends are like, "Chill, he'll be here soon." Just then Rintaro enters the scene from behind, and the thugs see his face and instantly speedrun out of there. My guy didn't even swing, just him existing was enough. But Rintaro, being a cinnamon roll inside a horror movie face, tells his friends, "Bro, fighting is bad, don't do that." To which they reply, "Bruh, this was literally your fault. Didn't you beat someone up yesterday?" Rintaro's like, "Wait, what? I don't remember that." Then he recalls last night when a girl slapped her boyfriend and walked off. Rintaro, being the accidental comfort simp, went up to the dude like, "Hey bro, you good?" But with his terrifying aura, the poor guy nearly had a heart attack. And his friends now roast him. Man, if you approach anyone at night looking like that, of course they'll get scared. Later we see them reaching school at school time. And we see that right next to the boys' school is a fancy girls' high school. The difference was something like Princess Academy versus government school vibes. As the boys were walking, two girls from the rich girls' school pass by and one of them drops her hanky. Rintaro's friend, being peak gentleman, picks it up and gives it back. And what does she say? "Now it's dirty, just like you guys." Bruh, the humiliation could even reach Mars. The boys sigh like, "These girls will never change. They just hate us for existing." And yeah, the girls' school was filled with rich spoiled brats. Girls legit close their curtains so they don't even have to see the boys' faces across the school. That's the level of hatred we're talking about. Later, Rintaro's friends plan to hang out, but he declines, as he has got work and it's revealed that he has to help his mother at his family bakery. When he arrives at the bakery, his mom scolds him for being late, and Rintaro explains that his school is really far and it was raining, that's why he was late. He then admits that he's basically trash at working on the shop as customers run away faster than the thugs did earlier. But his mom was like, "Relax, we only have one customer today anyway. You got this." So yeah, our scary face cinnamon roll is now a part-time bakery worker. Life speedruns him between being feared at school and being bullied by bread at home. So, Rintaro sometimes works at his family bakery to help, but bro doesn't even get a salary. He even admits, "Bro, if I ever told my friends about this, they'd raid the shop and eat us bankrupt." Now, remember how his mom said there's just one customer today? Rintaro looks around, and boom, he spots her. The only customer that day was a tiny cute girl, sitting in front of a mountain of empty plates. And not just sitting, she already ate them all. Rintaro's brain crashed like Windows XP, he thought. How the hell can such a small girl eat that much sugar alone? But then she looks up and they both make eye contact. Peak rom-com anime moment. She instantly panics, blushes, and chokes her mouth with the cake she was eating. Rintaro, being a gentleman despite his villain face, hands her water. She gulps it down, thanks him nervously, and runs away like Flash. And Rintaro was left standing there thinking, "Great, I scared another one. Must be my face again." Next day, he tells his mom about how he scared the girl last night, but his mom casually says, "Oh, that girl? Her name's Waguri. She's our regular customer. She loves the cake here." Rintaro's like, "Congrats, mom. You just lost your regular customer. Pretty sure she's never coming back after seeing my face." But his mom shouts back, "Stop blaming your face for everything. Not everyone's that shallow. If she doesn't come back, I'll drag her myself." Savage mom moment. Later in school, Rintaro was still stuck on yesterday's incident. He thinks maybe he should go apologize at her middle school. But how on earth would he find her? But before that, his friends invite him to lunch. He declines, and right after that one of the friends spills the tea saying, "You know why Rintaro always distances himself? Cause he thinks he's scary, so he rejects people before they reject him." Later, Rintaro changes his mind about finding and apologizing to her. He thinks, "Nah, I should better not go. What if I scare her again?" So instead, he was chilling at home reading manga. That's when his mom barges in and says, "Oh, by the way, Waguri wants to meet you." So he goes to meet her, planning to apologize. But Waguri flips the script by saying, "First, let's eat the cake together." And suddenly, Rintaro was sitting across from her in his own bakery, thinking, "Bruh, how did this turn into her treating me in my own shop?" Waguri, being pure sugar herself, apologizes saying, "Sorry for running off yesterday. That's why I wanted to share the cake with you." Rintaro tries to play it cool and says, "Nah, you eat first. I live in cake 24/7 anyway." She starts munching happily and says, "Sorry, but this bakery has the best cake ever. It's literally my heaven." Rintaro watches her chow down and for the first time, he feels satisfied. Like all his effort actually meant something. Wagyuri then giggles, "You must have been shocked yesterday, seeing me eat a whole cake army. The truth is, it was raining so hard I thought, maybe, one more slice, and then it turned into so many." Rintaro pretends like, no, not shocked at all, while internally his brain was still screaming. Finally, they exchange names properly. Vaguri's cheerful and Rintaro's awkward but low-key happy, and just like that, his scary face finally meets someone who isn't running away. Rintaro couldn't believe it. For the first time in his life, a girl actually wanted to meet him, and even more surprising, she wasn't afraid of his face. She spoke to him normally, like he wasn't the scary figure everyone always thought he was. Wagyuri softly apologized and said, "I'm sorry I ran away yesterday, but it wasn't because of your face, and it wasn't because I was scared of you. It's not even the first time I've seen you just never noticed me." Rintaro thought to himself that maybe she was right, maybe he really had never noticed her, and before he realized it, he blurted out louder than intended, "Then why did you run away yesterday?" His mother quickly interrupted, telling them to talk calmly, and then Wagyuri revealed the truth with her cheeks turning red. She said it was the first time a boy had ever stared at her for so long, and her heart had started beating so fast that she grew nervous and ran away. Rintaro was shocked because people always looked at him in fear, but this was the first time someone had blushed and looked away out of shyness. Their eyes met again, and both of them couldn't help but blush even more. Rintaro stood up quickly and said it was getting late, so he would walk her to the station, but Wagyuri shook her head and replied that she still had to place her cake order, and that she would go alone after that. Outside, Rintaro asked if she was really fine going by herself, since the station was quite far, but Wagyuri smiled and said, "Don't worry, I'm not scared at all, and thank you for being so kind to me." After she left, Rintaro returned to his room. His heart was still racing. All his life, people had only rejected him and run away after seeing his face, but this was the very first time a girl had blushed and ran away out of embarrassment. He thought back to his childhood, remembering how he was always avoided, and then her words echoed in his mind, how her heartbeat had raced when he looked at her. Thinking about that, his face turned even more red. Just then, his mother entered his room holding a cake, and told him that Wagyuri had forgotten it. She said that she must not have gone far, so he should hurry and take it to her. Meanwhile, outside, those same thugs from before had cornered Wagyuri and were trying to bother her, laughing as they told her that she was small but very cute, and asking why not have some fun with them. At the same time, Rintaro was rushing outside, searching for Wagyuri, but he was unable to find her, until he saw those thugs standing with her. They mocked her, saying, "What were you doing with that ugly scary guy Rintaro? Don't tell us he's your boyfriend. He looks terrifying, and if you stay close to him, nothing good will happen to you." Rintaro heard every word and wanted to step in, but fear held him back, worried that maybe Wagyuri would believe them, that maybe she too would start thinking of him as the horrible person they made him out to be. But before he could move, Wagyuri stood up for him. She looked at the thugs and said, "So you think you know him just because you've heard a few things? You're completely wrong. I've actually spoken to him, and he's nothing like what you're saying. He's kind, he's good, and you are the real bad ones here. You're the ones who spread lies and harass others." The goons didn't like Wagyuri said back to them, so one of them pulled out the classic anime punch move. But guess who jumps in like a true MC? Rintaro. The punch lands on him instead, slamming his head into the wall. Blood starts trickling down his head, but our boy doesn't even flinch. Instead, he glares at them with that deadly serious face like, "You sure you want to test me, bro?" And guess what? That's all it takes. The thugs literally wet themselves by just his look and quickly ran from the scene. On the other hand, Wagyuri was freaking out seeing his injury and instantly starts apologizing, blaming herself. "This is all my fault, please forgive me." Rintaro, being the humble boy he is, tells her not to worry. "It's fine. The punch didn't really hit me. I just smacked my head on the wall. It's no big deal. Think of it as my punishment." Wagyuri gets confused, says, "Wait, what?" Rintaro explains that yeah, he could have dodged it easily, but he didn't because deep down, he didn't trust her enough. He thought she'd be like the other girls who always judged him for his face. And then he starts apologizing over and over like some broken record. But Wagyuri shuts that down real quick saying, "Nope, don't even start. This isn't your fault at all. Rintaro's brain was like, wait, she's defending me? Bro, what universe is this? Then Wagyuri gently wipes the blood from his forehead, saying, I don't understand why people are so scared of you. You're actually a really good person. And thank you for saving me. And the way she says it, she looked so cute. Even the narrator had to pause and go simping, and our boy Rintaro was already halfway in love. Later, he walks her to the station. Before leaving, Wagyuri flashes that cute smile and says, next time we meet, let's eat cake at your bakery. Next morning, Rintaro was at his school looking like a zombie because he didn't sleep all night. Instead, he was just replaying Vaguri's smile on loop like a broken Spotify playlist. He looks toward the girls' high school building and sees curtains everywhere except one. Slowly, someone pulls it back. And guess who it is? Yep, Wagyuri. She sees him and he sees her. With that instant eye contact, both of them freeze like anime statues. Rintaro, flustered, slams his own curtain shut like, nope, I can't handle this. His heart was beating like the Tokyo Drift soundtrack. That's when he realizes, Vaguri's not a middle schooler. She's in high school. Rintaro's thoughts right now were, she's not scared of me. She's my regular customer. She even thanked me, but she's also from our rival school. Bruh, why is my life a shoujo manga? He remembers how the girls from that school looked at him earlier with pure disgust. Just then his friends show up, and one of them immediately starts trash-talking the rival school girls, calling them gross. But Rintaro? He's not even listening. His brain is still 100% focused on Wagyuri. Then he facepalms mentally like, bro, am I dumb? Why am I already overthinking after just one meeting? And that's when Osami looks at him, raises an eyebrow, and says, bruh, you good? Rintaro was just casually glancing toward the girls' high school when suddenly his friends noticed his weird behavior. They teased him like, bro, why are you acting weird? Rintaro panicked and snapped back louder than he intended. Are you crazy? Why would I do that? And now the whole class was staring at him like he just confessed in front of the teacher. The teacher shrugged it off and continued teaching, but Rintaro's brain was still running on Wagyuri overthinking edition. He kept spiraling, thinking, now that she knows I'm from the rival school, Wagyuri probably won't ever come to my bakery again. If people find out, she'll get in trouble too. Meanwhile, Osami breaks the tension and says, yo bro, you free today? Let's go hang out. And Rintaro shockingly says, yeah, I'm free. Everyone was shocked as Rintaro actually said yes to social interaction. They step outside and instantly notice all the boys staring in one direction like NPCs who just spotted a boss fight. The gang follows their gaze, and boom, there's Wagyuri, standing right outside their school. Rintaro was utterly shocked and thought, wait, why is she here? Who's she waiting for? His anxiety level was beyond 100. Osami, being Osami, walks straight up and starts yelling, hey, what are you doing outside our school? Poor Wagyuri freezes up, looking terrified. Osami keeps pressing, but suddenly Rintaro storms and grabbing him, and scolds, you don't yell at girls like that. You need to apologize. Osami, now looking like a scolded puppy, actually apologizes. And to make it even funnier, Wagyuri goes, no, you don't need to apologize. But Osami's already crying and begging forgiveness. That's when some girls from the rival school show up. They see Wagyuri scared and immediately assume that the boys must have caused some trouble to her. The death stares they gave was something straight out of a courtroom drama. Vaguri's friends pull her away, and Osami was still salty and he shouts, hey, you should apologize to us first. But instead, the rival girls shove him back and glare at him like he's a certified criminal. And while leaving, Wagyuri keeps looking back at Rintaro, just Rintaro. Meanwhile, he was totally stunned. Later, the boys head off to hang out, but Osami was still mouthing over what happened. Those girls ruined my day. Rintaro, though, can't stop replaying everything. Wait, was Wagyuri actually here for me? His brain was literally overheating. Osami notices and teases him, bro, your mood is weird today. What's going on? Rintaro tries to change the topic saying, shut up, stop talking nonsense. But inside, he was panicking like, wait, am I actually happy? No, I should have control and stop it. No feelings, it's just a normal day in my abnormal life. Nothing special. The squad ends up at karaoke. Osami goes first and belts out a banger. He even scores a solid 90 and starts flexing like, I can do better than that. Meanwhile, Rintaro? He still can't pick the song. Bro's scrolling like it's Instagram Reels. Just 5 more minutes. I'll choose, I promise. Seiko, the observant one, keeps watching Rintaro closely. Finally, he leans over and says, bro, something's up with you. If there's a problem, just tell us. Don't keep it in. He'd already noticed the injury on Rintaro's head, the weird mood, the silent behavior. Yeah, Seiko knows something's cooking. Rintaro's mind was in full-on dilemma mode. Should I tell them? Should I spill the Wagyuri lore? Nah, if they find out I actually enjoyed talking to a girl, the whole squad dynamic will flip upside down. Better keep it low-key. So, he just smiles and says, I'm fine guys, let's just enjoy ourselves. But the boys are relentless. Fine, but did you pick your karaoke song yet? Rintaro, still stalling like a pro, goes, give me 5 more minutes. Rosen, tired of waiting, says, bro, hand it over, I'll pick for you. Rintaro apologizes to Seiko for looking all gloomy earlier, like, my bad for the face glitch. Can't really help it. Finally, he steals himself, ready to sing. Later that night, Rintaro heads home. He notices the restaurant still open and thinks, guess I should close up. But when he walks in, Wagyuri was already inside, waiting for him, smiling and saying, welcome back. Rintaro was shocked and asked, what are you doing here? Wagyuri bows a little, apologizing on behalf of her friends for the rude behavior earlier. But Rintaro brushes it off, saying, you don't need to apologize for them. That's when his mom shows up like a tag team partner and says, oh, you're finally here. Do you know how long Vaguri's been waiting for you? Then she adds with a smirk, Wagyuri, why don't you stay a little while longer? I'll whip up something nice for you. Right on perfect time? Vaguri's stomach growls louder than an anime villain's power-up scene. Rintaro and his mom both start laughing while trying to control it. Wagyuri blushes and gets embarrassed. She even tried covering her face and says, Rintaro, don't laugh like that, it's embarrassing. Rintaro quickly apologizes and offers, how about we sit and eat cake together? Wagyuri lights up hearing this like it's Christmas. Soon enough, Vaguri's enjoying the cake like it's peak anime food animation with sparkles, blushes, the whole deal. Rintaro, watching her, can't help but think, she looks way too cute when she eats cake. This level of cuteness should be illegal. Between bites, Wagyuri asks, by the way, that red-haired friend of yours, is he okay? Rintaro, oh, you mean Osami? Don't worry, he's fine. Then he flips the question back. But seriously, what were you doing by our school gate? Wagyuri nervously admits, I was actually waiting for you. Rintaro freezes like someone hit pause button after hearing this. She apologizes again for her friends, but he waves it off. This time, with his heart doing backflips, Rintaro blurts out, when I talked to you for the first time, I really liked it. His voice trails off, his words were incomplete, but Wagyuri already gets it. Both of them blush so hard the bakery could have used it as neon lights. The mood softens and Rintaro confesses, honestly, I thought you wouldn't come back, that maybe you'd stop visiting after finding out I'm from the rival school. Wagyuri tilts her head and asks, why would I do that? Rintaro explains, you know how bad the rivalry is between your school and mine. I figured once you knew, you wouldn't want anything to do with me. And there it was, our scary-faced boy overthinking again while the cake-loving angel in front of him just smiled. Wagyuri takes a deep breath and says softly, to be honest, I was really happy when I saw you at school, but you looked a little down. Then, her face was not glowing now, and glancing at the time, she adds, it's getting late, I should probably head home. Rintaro's brain goes total error 404. He was listening to her words, but more than that, he was watching her face. The way she spoke left him confused, something felt off, but he couldn't understand what. As Wagyuri leaves, she turns back one last time, honestly, I like talking to you, Rintaro, and I like knowing more about you. But even as she said it, her mood felt heavy. Rintaro just stood there, staring as she left. That's when his mom popped in, looked at his face, and said, what in the Walking Dead is this? He tells her everything and his mom listens, then gives him the classic mom power move, a flick on the forehead. She asks him, tell me straight, how do you actually feel when you talk to Wagyuri? Rintaro, clutching his head, admits, I feel good, really good. Whenever I see her, whenever I talk to her, I feel happy. But, he hesitates, I don't want her to suffer because of me. Our school has a horrible reputation. If anyone sees her with me, they'll judge her. Her image will get ruined because of me. Thinking about it, Rintaro suddenly spirals, clenches his fist, and then punches himself right in the face and blood drips from his nose. His mom's like, are you out of your damn mind? Rintaro, still dramatic as ever, says, I get it now, Mum. I've made a huge mistake. Next day, Rintaro was already waiting outside the school gate. Wagyuri arrives, sees his battered face, and gasps, what happened to your face now? Rintaro bows his head, please forgive me. I hurt you yesterday. Wagyuri quickly shakes her head and says, no, you don't need to apologize. If anything, I should be the one saying sorry. I just walked away without a word. I know you must have overthought a lot because of me. In reality, she thought Rintaro was hurt because she didn't say anything before leaving. Meanwhile, Rintaro had been over here making a whole dark mode fanfiction in his brain. Both were blaming themselves in what was actually a super sweet, unique, romantic moment. Rintaro, still stuck in his head, thought, what will happen when my friends and her friends find out we've been talking? What will they think? Bro really can't stop looping back to the homies. Finally, he blurts it out, when I first saw you, I felt really happy, and when you talked to me, I felt even happier. Vaguri's face lights up instantly, looking extra cute. She smiles and says, "By the way, my name's Wagyuri." Rintaro chuckles and says, "I know your name." She nods and adds playfully, "And you're Rintaro. Honestly, it doesn't matter what our friends think. I just like talking to you and knowing more about you." Rintaro just stares at her face, completely lost in the moment, floored by how genuine she sounds. Later, Rintaro walks into his classroom, while his brain was still replaying everything. He thinks, actually he's right, we really shouldn't care so much about what others say. He sits by the window, lost in thought when suddenly he notices movement across the window. Wagyuri playfully pulls back the curtain, spots him, and beams with the brightest smile. And just like that, our boy goes from living cursed creepypasta to main character of a rom-com anime. Rintaro, staring at Wagyuri, thinks to himself, if I'm being honest, I want to know more about you too, Wagyuri. And maybe, just maybe, I'm finally becoming part of a world I was never able to belong to before. But reality doesn't let him stay in those warm thoughts for long, because summer has officially hit. Rintaro and his friends were dying in the heat, especially poor Osami, who looks one step away from meeting the gods. He whines, "Let's just go chill under a bridge or something, I'm melting." Rintaro, ever the realist, replies, "Relax. Sports day is just around the corner." Osami instantly lights up, "This year is gonna be fire." Except, nope, their luck was trashed. Teacher announces that Rintaro and Osami aren't even allowed to participate. Both boys look at each other like someone just deleted their GTA save file. The teacher tells them that they're dead last in academics. If they want to join sports day, they have to pass exams first. Hearing this, Osami looks like he's about to ascend to another dimension. Back with the group, Osami clings to Seiko like a desperate man. "Please bro, help me study. I'm begging you." Seiko gets triggered, snaps back. "Don't you remember last time? I tutored you, and my grades went down too. Not again." Meanwhile, Rintaro just thinks quietly, "Guess I'll have to deal with this myself." Osami, of course, makes a whole scene. He yells dramatically in front of everyone, "Fine. If you guys won't help, me and Rintaro will self-study." Seiko, with the coldest Sigma reply, "Good, best of luck." Skull. While the argument was still buzzing, Rentaro's phone vibrates. It's a text from his mom saying, "We're having a bakery sale today. Why don't you invite Wagyuri?" Reading this, Rintaro glances toward the girl's school and wonders, will she actually come? His heart races as he drafts the message, hesitates, then finally hits send. Classes drag on. One ends, another starts, then ends again. Poor Rintaro was in full notification checking simulator mode. Finally, in the evening he gets a reply. Wagyuri said, "Thank you for inviting me, but I'm a little busy today, so I won't be able to come." Rintaro forces a smile. It's okay. But inside, he's thinking, why do I feel so disappointed? Just then Osami claps him on the back and says, "Come on, let's go to the library and actually study." The two march in and Osami even declares, "I'll show them what we're capable of." After 5 minutes, Osami was slumped over the desk, with his brain fried. Man's soul has left his body. Rintaro sighs and thinks, maybe we should just apologize to the others. You know we'll never survive exams without them. And that's how these two geniuses discovered once again that their greatest enemy is academics. Osami suggested that he should go and call Seiko and others so that they could help them study while Rintaro just focused on studying. And just then two girls enter the library trying to find a seat. Poor Rintaro sees them and decides to give him his seat. He silently gets up and started leaving, and the girls also understood that he left because of them. While leaving the library, he hears Vaguri's voice, and the moment he heard her voice, he froze. Wagyuri and her friend were also studying in the same library, while he was secretly peeking at her. Vaguri's friend sensed someone staring and looked back, but Rintaro had already hid himself into the shadows like a ninja in training. From there, he could see Wagyuri concentrating on her studies, her focus almost intimidating. He hears Vaguri's friend saying the Wagyuri was the topper of her class, and Wagyuri also says that she is going to maintain her rank. Rintaro just heads outside and his mind immediately compared himself to her. She was the topper of her school, hardworking, disciplined, and brilliant, while he was at the very bottom of his class, struggling to stay afloat academically. Just when Rintaro's self-esteem had reached rock bottom, Wagyuri herself noticed him. His heart skipped a beat. She asked softly if he was studying there, and Rintaro, flustered, admitted he was trying. She then apologized for not being able to visit the bakery sale, explaining that she was running low on money and had a part-time job to support herself, all while maintaining her status as the top student. Rintaro's jaw practically hit the floor. Not only was she she smart and independent, but she also carried herself with a calm determination that made his own worries feel trivial. Wagyuri continued to open up, explaining that she wasn't aiming to impress anyone with her achievements. She did it for her own happiness and for her family. Rintaro, listening intently, felt a growing respect and admiration for her. The more he learned, the more he realized how much she exceeded his expectations, not just as a student but as a person. Gathering courage, Rintaro admitted that he struggled in almost every subject and feared failing, but he didn't want to give up. Wagyuri, smiling warmly, reassured him and offered to help whenever she had the time, jokingly promising to text him for study sessions. Rintaro felt a rush of relief and excitement. This was more than just academics. It was a connection he had never felt before. But just as the atmosphere became calm and sweet, a shadow fell across their little scene. A new girl from Vaguri's school, Subaru, appeared, her eyes widened, and Subaru's eyes immediately narrowed as she spotted Rintaro. Who is this guy? She asked herself. And when she realized he was from Chidori school, her school's rival, her expression shifted into full-on judgment mode. Her sharp gaze was enough to make Rintaro sweat bullets. And even though Wagyuri tried to interject, she couldn't get a word out. At that moment, Rintaro's 3 friends arrived. And seeing the situation escalate, Rintaro's anxiety skyrocketed. How was he supposed to handle this standoff between 2 girls, one of whom clearly had a grudge against his school? Everyone seemed ready for a confrontation, and Osami saw Wagyuri standing close to Rintaro. He leaned towards Wagyuri thinking that he has seen her somewhere, but Subaru did not like this at all, and her glare could have melted steel. Just as tension hit its peak, Rintaro instinctively stepped forward and pulled Osami away, which left Subaru in utter shock. Osami protested, "I didn't even do anything. Why did you?" But Rintaro muttered a quick sorry and said that his body had acted on its own. Despite the chaos, Subaru eventually walked away with Wagyuri, but a heated debate immediately sparked between Subaru and Seiko. Seiko, with his usual bluntness, mocked Subaru's attitude and the silver hairs, implying that their elitist behavior wasn't worth taking seriously. Subaru's pride was stung, and her irritation was clearly, while Wagyuri tried to speak up in her defense. Rintaro, seeing the argument spiraling, finally stepped in. "Enough, Seiko. Stop it," he said firmly, bringing calm to the situation. "This is the same girl who was standing at our gate that day. I had come to apologize for what happened then, but you guys misunderstood." Hearing this, Osami sheepishly went over and apologized to both girls, and Wagyuri followed suit. Subu, however, was too proud to admit any fault and walked off without saying a word. Wagyuri, persistent as ever, chased after her, apologizing again, while Osami muttered something about unfinished business between friends. Eventually, the tension was dissolved. Wagyuri turned to Subaru one last time and said, "Not all boys are the same," prompting a quiet reflection from Subaru as she noticed how Vaguri's attitude toward Rintaro has shifted, especially in her protective words about Rintaro. Later that night, Rintaro was buried in his studies when Vaguri's message popped up. Instead of a text, it quickly escalated into a direct call, and they talked for hours. Wagyuri thanked Rintaro for protecting her earlier, though she confessed she was still a little worried about the next time. Rintaro reassured her, "Don't worry, I'll always make sure nothing bad happens between us and anyone else." The conversation left both of them blushing, shy smiles spreading across their faces, hearts racing, and a mutual excitement bubbling beneath the surface. Now, both Rintaro and Wagyuri couldn't wait for the next chance to sit together, study, or just spend time with each other, savoring the kind of warm, quiet companionship that only seems possible in these fleeting yet precious moments. So, that's it for part 1, guys. If you guys want part 2, then make sure to get this video 500 likes and subscribe for more such recaps.